Goodman from on the No Fits podcast. We're gonna get to know my man. A lot of you guys only know, you've been introduced to him from the sports casting. If you follow the early morning sportscast, I believe it's what's called.
Early morning sports talk podcast.
Only Morning Sports Talks podcast, as well as Jay Good with sports. And if you listen to No Offense Radio, I know you've heard of, 2 to 5, and 10 o'clock, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. So um I'm gonna give y'all a chance to get to know, the other sides of the brother today, because he's more than just sports, man. A lot of y'all, you actually, I feel like you're gonna be impressed. And sometimes, we never know how truly talented a person is until you sit down and have that conversation. So we want to extend that to our audience as well, so that you guys understand just the genius of the man for real. Because I got to give you my props. My boy done graduated, college. It's that's no small feat, man. Everybody ain't out here doing that. You understand what I'm saying? And when y'all hear his where his expertise lie, I think it's further more impressive. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. You know what I'm saying? I can make the most of my mind's time. And you know me, y'all could probably say it with me because I've been known to say it. I've been listening to it myself. I'm like, damn, I say that a lot, right? So here we go. Let's start from the beginning, where all good stories start. You feel me? Where were you born, brother? And how was your upbringing as far as school and things like that?
Man, all right. So born in Harvey, Illinois, south suburb of Chicago. Lived in Illinois for about a good 12 years of my life, between Harvey and Alsip, both south suburbs of Chicago. And then ended up in Indianapolis for about 6 months of my life from there. And then Gary, Indiana. So basically, I've been around the Chicago market my whole life. Different school systems or whatnot. Initially I was, looking back at it, I was in a pretty good school system until I, went to school in an all Black community, and, definitely saw, resources and everything else night and day, but, managed to get through that, graduated out of Gary Roosevelt. I was actually valedictorian of my high school class on that
Okay,
one.
big dog, beat everybody else. I
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
Shoot, we in the presence of intellectual greatness, brother. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you get every day. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about, if we can. Let's break down the as you were growing up. You said you were in Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, we know Chicago nowadays, as saying, if you're a Dirk fan and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And the kind of in the hip hop world. You know what I'm saying? We kind of hear these, Chicago is known for being tough, man. You know what I'm saying? It's known for gun violence. It's known for, you know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah.
rough. You know what I'm saying? It's just rough. It's also gave birth to some of the greatest notable names, you know what I'm saying, in this game, you know what I'm saying? Twist, just different things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious as to, was that the similar experience when you were growing up, or like um is it how is the illusion, how can I put it, is the illusion that the rest of the world is getting, is that what you experienced as you was growing up?
I mean, there's, to me, there's good and bad areas in
Every
each, urban major city, right?
fact.
Always. And so when I was living in Alsip, that was a south suburb, but it was clean. It was no issue there, violence, anything like that. If it was, I couldn't see it. Then living in Harvey for a few years, that's, got a first glimpse of, the records that, I'm hearing from like Twister growing up, or Do or Die, or at the time, it's like, okay, like I see it every day. It's like I'm making sure I'm just going to school and going home and staying out of trouble, man. It's like, cause you see it.
Yeah.
Dude, especially, getting over to Gary, which, is right next door to Chicago. But
Facts.
still, it's like, me finish out, the rest of my middle school and high school there. I definitely seen some things. I won't, say
No,
here,
no, I
but
don't. I don't want you. I'm not. I don't need you to do that to us, man. We need to keep you. Like, yeah, don't do no shit like that. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no.
But I got you. So it was definitely like type of mind your own business kind of deal.
Yeah,
Like be doing what you doing.
like pretty much, man. Either mind your own business, either play ball, doing something constructive in school, or you doing stuff outside of school in the streets. Probably that's what it was.
Facts. Now around that time, was there what was highly influential to you? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying that because those who don't know, you are excellent in sport. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, this man has made me. Anybody who knows me know I love music, man, but I don't really watch a lick of sports. But listen to this brother here. I like to think I at least can understand what the hell the conversation is. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I heard about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been listening, bro. You know what I'm saying? So was sports even something that you were highly influenced by even back then, or
Man,
what was playing a role in back then as far as your upbringing?
so like my dad, he was a major influence as far as me getting into sports. I remember when he was living and around at the time, like the Bulls was major in the 90s, right? Michael Jordan, the whole
Nice.
dynasty and stuff. So watching The Last Dance, that documentary, just reliving my childhood right there for the most part, watching that. He was just a big Bears fan, Chicago Bears fan. So that's why you see the stuff in the background. It didn't, like, the fandom of the Bears didn't even hit me until like after he passed away when I was 12. But oh no, all good. White Sox, I just been fortunate to have like little pieces here and there from him to instill this this sports influence of my life. When I don't know, when I really got to high school though, I wasn't, I guess, physically gifted enough to play on the professional teams for the most part. I can play, but not, just a little bit notch below what the high school level could be. I did play high school golf, but other than that, but I was very doing different things on the side, and I was mainly like, if I came home, my friends would tell you the only thing I have on was ESPN all day, every day. I it's not one sport that I can't even have a conversation about. Like, I'm pretty much influenced by everything. And so back then, just from my dad to ESPN, just learning different things, learning the players, learning the stats, learning their background info, like what makes them tick. Like, it's just intangibles, just the whole nine. It all just kind of grouped into one package, and it became a lifestyle for me.
But now I know what you mean by that ESPN cable a little different. When we were growing up, that's another thing too. All right, it wasn't that it ain't that we old, brother, but it ain't like it was today. Like before
Right.
us, they had the enriched color TV and all that, and cable, and the network was expanding. And if you hear the people older than us, they're talking about when TV used to go off. We wasn't that old, you know what I'm saying? But we will say that things was different, like especially as kids, like at one point in time, basic cable, or you had either like basic cable or you had like satellite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you wanted to get like all the channels, like all of the different games, or the different to even hear some of them, you had to have like satellite. You know what I'm saying? Like and when you say like growing up on ESPN, man, who was some of those sportscasters that they was gonna give it to you like you wanted to? You know what I'm saying? Man. They was gonna give you every detail. Nah.
Oh, Stuart Scott, that's number one for me. Rest in peace to that man. But hearing the booyah and cooler than the other side of the pillow, like I kid you not, I wanted to work for ESPN so bad, just because he was a main influence, booming with the football. Him and was it Tom Jackson with the NFL prime time going on. Linda Cohn, she was just a professional, and just over the years, I'm just picking up on different things that they're doing. Like, how can I get to this point? Like, what makes him different than somebody else? And personality goes one way, but it's like just something that if I just hear somebody, distinctively, and they just got a certain personality and it's going along with sports, it's like I can't unglue from it. So yeah, Stu was definitely a big one for me, and Stephen A. Smith. even now. Like that was big for me.
Bet. Now, did you find yourself also in a did you find yourself at home also arguing with the sports guys? Because sports fans, boy, you hit a wrong. Listen, everybody knows a sports fan. You say some shit the wrong way, and that's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, so was there times that you would hear the way something might have been described, and you'd be like, I ain't gonna say it necessarily like that, you know what I'm saying? But and did that help shape the way that you report as well?
Oh man, of course. It's I'm sitting here like now one of the, I guess, known guys that just make a lot of controversial, stuff. I'm starting to think he truly believes that way, and not just for TV. Is Skip Bayless, who used to be on ESPN, now with Shannon Sharpe doing I think Undisputed, I believe, on Fox Network. But just hearing him and just talk about certain things, I'm sitting here like, man, it's like I get it, but it's like there's no way that I can fully agree with that. But more importantly, it's like I had to learn, if I'm going to do this, I have to learn to like put my biases aside if I want to be credible. Because I tell you now, I'm not a LeBron James fan. I'm not part of that fandom, but I definitely respect the man. I know he's great, and I will give him his props when it's due. But initially, it's like I had to get rid of that if I was wanting to be credible. So just making sure I don't fall into that loophole.
So you would find yourself sometimes talking about how you flop, but then you realize it was okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. See, that's what I'm talking about. LeBron fans right now want to kill me because he be like, that man be flopping, man. That man be swimming, shampooing. But hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he's a flop. I mean, he'll flop, and I will say it. But I also let him know, like, yeah, besides the flopping and the antics and the stuff he does on the court, I mean, he is a sensational talent. He is one of the best human beings offside the court. I will give him his due, but at the same time, I'm gonna just keep it real.
Man, be flopping. Anyway, but yeah. I got you. But no, I love that though, because I as a listener, right? Especially somebody who like I said, I tell you, I'm not. Anybody who knows me personally will tell you, man, you can count on one hand how many times you actually heard sports and me in the same room. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I dislike it, but some things in life I just don't get necessarily. And I understand the rules of the game, but it's just, everybody has those things that they call more to, and things like that. So I say all to say is, as somebody who doesn't necessarily watch sports all the time, hearing a personality of the reporter or the announcer who's announcing the game, I feel like it plays a huge role in the attentiveness of whoever's listening. Because if a person's just given that factuals, like you said, the factuals, there's nothing but facts, and there's no kind of personality to go behind it, an opinion behind it, then it can be real easy to feel like you just watch National Geographic, you fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, the game over with, you don't woke up, somebody else playing, you don't even know, you know what I'm saying? But in other cases, when you can hear that lively, you could tell that the person is actually excited and engaged in what they're watching. I feel like it's almost like contagious, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if that's what I like about when I hear your show, because even if I didn't know what was going on, that's what started me listening, because I was like, man, you can hear this guy actually knows what the hell he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? You break it down from different sport to sport, you know what I'm saying? Different highlight to highlight. You definitely find the ways to say what's notable, also give us a little bit of what's next might be coming, just to, you know what I'm saying, just to always be in the loop and you feel like you're engaged in that world. Where did your statistics start? Like, when did you start to actually take note of different statistics and keeping track of different things to enable you to be able to do what it is that you do so well?
Two parts to that. One is just like back in high school, my friends that I had since high school, A1 since day one, like they've just so happened to be just as much in sports. So having like little mini debates and arguments, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to step my game up, start going a little deeper. And at that point, I'm starting, to be labeled as, I guess, quote unquote, guru by certain people, because I'm because I'm gonna hit you with the stats. I'm gonna hit you with some things that I heard about, that I even researched about. Back then, high school and mid 2000s, it's like you don't have the internet isn't as popular, isn't as like full. So I'm still getting newspapers at the time.
AOL was just on his way out.
Yep. Yeah. AOL, that little dial up, and net zero is on the way out. But yeah, I'm just listening to the Sports Center and just local stuff. I'm just picking up on things and just trying to be ahead of the curve. The second part to this, when I was in college, I used to work in the gymnasium, also with the athletic department. So I was one of the parts was a sports information assistant, where I was like the person that was responsible for anything that you see in the box score. I was the one putting in the stats live in the middle of the game.
Wow. That's freaking neat, bro. I always wondered. I was like, is that AI or like how did they keep up with that? Is there somebody hitting a button every time something happens? Like they got to update the number or what? Like what's up?
Yeah. So with that, like I was the one actually inputting the stuff, but like for instance, for volleyball, right? Because volleyball is a very fast-paced sport. Right. Because you got to do all the digs, the hits, the spikes, all that stuff. I would have like maybe one or two people next to me. One would, I guess will still be following along in case I'm missing something, because I mean, a sequence could happen too fast and I'm sitting here trying to catch up. I got another person, also a backup to that, but also let me know with substitutes. So I got to input the substitutes as well. So I'm literally doing everything. And at the end of the game, when you read the box score, like I was responsible for that. Basketball was very fun to do. I can do that in the breeze. Soccer, that was fun to do. Just, yeah. So doing that really, enhanced my understanding for certain things and how it's actually calculated. Like for instance, assist in basketball, that can be very objective and subjective at the same time. Like, somebody passed you the ball, somebody pass somebody else the ball, they shoot instantly, they score, you get the assist, right? But at the same time, you could pass somebody the ball, they take 1-2 dribbles, hezzy, and then drive the bucket and get the basket. At that point, it's like, do you really get the assist for that, or did he really break down the defender and score on his own without the assist? So just things of that I had to learn as well.
And those nuances, like what's the go-to rule for those things? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what's in those nuances where you're like, I don't know, man, that's a hard call. What gets the tally? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's the official driving point that say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give them a point or not?
All right. So with that, it's a little different now because it seems like they're very more lenient on giving assists, but back then, maybe about 8-9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, it was more so if I pass you the ball in stride while you go into the basket, or if I pass you the ball and basically in motion to you getting ready to score, then it's like, okay, I'll give you the assist. But if I give you the ball and you start doing post moves and stop and play and then get to your spot or whatnot, then it's like, I didn't really assist you. You kind of did it on your own type thing. So it just depends on the flow of the game and what kind of motion you're doing. So it's, got to definitely, be paying attention at that time.
So it sounds like when it comes to something like assists, it's like the less is more. Like you want to get the ball to the dude and he'd shoot. The more he do, the less chances of you getting that statistic, basically.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. It's like somebody start dribbling like Allen Iverson and breaking them down. It's like I didn't assist for that. Your dribbling did the assist for yourself. At that point.
Facts. Okay, so what's the first piece of fan gear you bought? Like that, I'm not talking about that you were given. I'm talking about that you had your own money, that you wanted to make sure that you left the store with something that you wanted to support. What was the first item that you got?
Tracy McGrady, Houston Rockets jersey. Tracy McGrady was my first favorite basketball player after Michael Jordan retired. When that man went to Orlando Magic, I fell in love with his game because he was so unique at the time. A 6'8" guard / wing who can do it all on offense, post you up, shoot the mid-range, shoot the three, take you off the dribble, pass, rebound, do it all. And so to see him and Kobe Bryant going head to head at one point, and it was like the best two players in the league at one point in time, it was just special to see. So when he got to Houston, I was able to actually get some money. I'm like, I'm spending my hard-earned money, my $75 on this jersey. So,
and that was before. Listen, and that would have been like right before the throwback game went crazy when nuts. They started bringing back the retro game. It was wild. Yeah, them throwbacks, man. Shout out to everybody on that game. Man, listen, I just see some price tags on the throwback jersey. Let me know immediately. I was in the wrong store.
You're not lying. Between the throwbacks and then they started doing, guys started wearing the jerseys backwards, and then they had like the half and half, like stitched half home, half away, like stitched together on the jersey. They started getting real creative. Jersey game used to be real strong back then.
Man, that's crazy. So let's move forward. So you graduate valedictorian, which is no easy feat. Valedictorian, because hold on, wait a minute. This is for my brothers that might not know what valedictorian is. Okay, I'm not knocking you. I just want to make sure you follow the conversation. I'm not trying to pick at you. I swear to God, I want to make sure you follow. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, how I'm having to break it down to you like this. That's how remedial I am in sports. I bet you got to sit me down and say, okay, listen, if you catch it, it's called a pass. You're like, oh shit, like for real? I know that sounds simple, right? All right, so listen. So you know what I'm saying? So listen, valedictorian means that you graduate the highest class. You know what I'm saying? You put in the most work. You know what I'm saying? You made sure that you be out. And listen, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? You got valedictorian, and what? Salutatory, the one that's right underneath, right? Yep. You know what I'm saying? And bro, second is no easy for either, but to be the top dog, the one that comes out, that means you were able to give a speech to your class, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I had to do that. And at the time, my personality did not mesh at all. Like I was the shyest guy ever. I tried to get out of it. I couldn't, so I had to do it.
Man, looking at the individual you are now, and thinking back then, how do you compare yourself as far as in personality, as far as knowledge, outlook, perspective? How would the current you with growth describe the in progress you up to this point?
Man, that makes sense. Yeah, like then I think biggest thing, I lacked probably a lot of confidence back then. Even though like I was competitive, I mean, me being number one, I had to be very competitive to do that. But I think I lacked a lot of confidence. It's like deep down, I knew what I was talking about, but I just didn't know how to like show it. And so I guess actually me doing that speech, and I was a nervous wreck. But the fact that I got through it, that lets me know that like, okay, that was the beginning of me knowing that I can be a lot better than this if I actually give myself an actual chance and just do it. And so throughout the whole process between then and now, it's like, yeah, I think my confidence is so much higher. And it's like, I can care less what a lot of other people say too. So it's just, I'm just at this point, just doing my thing.
Hey man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a freedom to be able to walk in your light, brother. As far as he had to have a hell of a work ethic, I imagine, to be valedictorian. Listen, I'm gonna say it this way: I wasn't valedictorian, so salute to you. You feel me? Because I understand. I thought, man, I work hard just to graduate. So I'm telling you, I can only imagine the brain power that went into what it is that you put together. You know what I'm saying? As far as accomplishing that step of valedictorian, how did you feel when you first got the news? Because that's another thing too. Y'all don't realize that if it's how I was when I was a senior, you find out, like, I think it's either mid in the year or something like that you have the highest grade point average, but they also tell you how much above you are somebody else, and it's kind of nerve-wracking because you still have classes. You know what I'm saying? And those A's play a part into what is like 4.0. Like you got to have straight A's, and that's a 4.0. If you get AP classes, then it can add some points. But if you have regular classes, and you fuck around and get a B, you know what I'm saying? That listen, a B is not bad, but a B is bad for your grade point average if you make it straight A's. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with all of that going on, how did you how did you find yourself and what worked for you back then, as far as how did you keep your mind, your eyes to the ground?
It's crazy because like my freshman year, I knew nothing about what a valedictorian was or class rankings or anything until I think somebody in my class, I guess, was talking to the guidance counselor and they found out, who was ranked where. And then I think at the end of freshman year, somebody told me, "Oh, you're seventh." Like seventh out the whole class. I'm like okay. I just at that point I made it a personal challenge. I'm like, all right, I want to be number one. And so by halfway through my junior year, I actually leapfrogged and got that number one spot, and I didn't let go. I did
Facts.
not let go at
Just
all.
run it. Just run it. And I imagine that has to be 8 weeks. Because listen, when we graduated, there was somebody I think had a 6.0. And you got to imagine 4.0 is straight A's. So that's straight A's. All right.
Yeah.
So to get over that, to get extra points, that means you taking AP, advanced placement classes, college courses. In high school, you're getting college credit. At least that's how it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Did you ever feel that it was too hard, or did you ever get discouraged at some of these classes? I would hear some of these horror stories in these AP classes, or did it all, you knew that it was all going to be worth the risk. So no matter what, you was heads in.
I mean, for me, it was just more so not being lazy, stop procrastinating, and actually just do the work. That's all it was. It's like back then, like I was processing things so quickly. It's like I would be done with my homework before I even go home. So when I'm going home, I got ESPN on the TV all day and just chilling. But so no, it wasn't. To me, it wasn't just hard. It's just sometimes just some things I just didn't like to do. I just had to suck it up and do it. Certain classes, everybody got their strengths and weaknesses with certain classes. For me, it was just like I was like math is my favorite subject. That was easy. Even up to the AP calculus where the teacher couldn't, she knew her stuff, but she didn't know how to teach. So we was kind of collectively kind of doomed on that one. But in college, I got that together. But anyway, it was like classes like communication that was giving me problems once again because I was shy back then. So I had to like stomach that. Anything that had to do with a speech, I was a nervous wreck. Had to get through it. But no, it was just more so just strength. It was just more so mindset over anything. If you got your mind to it, then it's like, you're good. It was mental. A lot of it was mental. That was it.
Facts. Now, as valedictorian, I would imagine it allowed you to basically write your career, write your path as far as the school. And valedictorian, like we said, is no small feat. This basically is saying that valedictorian means you have proven to be the number one in your class. You know what I'm saying? As far as the top to retain information and learn information, and to be able to process and apply that information. How did this play a role as far as into the offers that you were given to college that helped you make the decision of where you wanted to go?
It was crazy. So I feel like that was the gift and the curse. So the gift was just all these random, like just I guess college invitational type things, like apply here. Like I got one from Yale. I was like losing my like Yale sending me something, little old me from Gary, Indiana. Just countless. It was just a lot of different colleges just sending me applications for me to apply and stuff. Junior year, like they had like a MIT like flying program. Like they took 20 kids from the Chicagoland area. I was the only one from Indiana that went. I didn't know how big of a school MIT was or how prestigious it was. I went though, that was my first actual like college experience on an actual college campus. Luckily they had this dorm called Chocolate City where all the Black people were at. So that was actually kind of cool. But just the whole process. I mean, yeah, just to have all those schools interested in you, it was excellent. That was the gift. The curse was me being in a school where resources was lacking and not enough leadership within the school. Like I didn't know what financial aid was at the time. I didn't know a lot of things. A lot of it feels like I was set up for failure and didn't even know it. Because honestly, I was still applying for schools after I graduated, and that shouldn't have been the case.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I hate, it's. I feel like it's a big secret that ain't so secret that we as Black Americans, what I'm saying, African Americans, just be honest with you, we don't the information that's readily available to help prepare our future. I feel like is easily it's more easily accessed by others because for when they first have the knowledge. Not this is not like this is not a generalization on anybody. Like I'm not saying like just because you born a certain color you have this not, but what I'm saying as a collective, what I'm saying, there seems to be a more of a proactive push to make sure that the youth is properly uh, uh, equipped to be able to put themselves in a position in the future to provide a little bit better for themselves, what I'm saying? So they get the network, they get the resources, they get the push, they get the count, what I'm saying? They just get more resources readily available that we don't necessarily find ourselves with. Now, I'm not trying to point fingers. What I'm saying is, as somebody who had to experience that and to still graduate, my man, with your master's. What was it that you graduated with? I apologize. Was it bachelor's?
Bachelor's.
Okay, bachelor's. And if you don't mind, what were your bachelor's in?
Bachelor's science and management, concentrated in human resources and finance.
See, I feel stupid just when you said that shit. I swear to God, I almost walked off on you, Jay Good.
No.
I swear to God, I just felt like I heard my IQ falling when you were saying that shit. I swear to God, it's like, damn, I'm dumb as fuck. But anyway, but no, I'm saying that because listen, for one, to be a math, a math like lover, what I'm saying, to actually genuinely love that. I'm amazed anyway, blown away, because bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate fucking math. Bro, I could pretty much do anything in the world, but as long as you don't give me no goddamn math, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
don't give me.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Like my wife hates math. I think all my kids hate math, so don't feel bad. A lot of people don't like math. That's a normal.
but the fact that you found something, what you love, something and can embrace something that I feel like, man, math is still to be great at math is something, and the love that you do, it opens a lot of doors, my man. Like it opens a lot of doors because such as analytics, like, what I'm saying, which your sports casting, bro. I be trying to figure out the whole time you talking to a process information. I'm like, man, how does he remember this shit, dude? Like I'm sitting here like I'm blown away. And then not only is that a fact that you remember, but you can tell when somebody's bullshitting you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you be like, yeah, but then there's other times, you know what I'm saying, when you speak to somebody who's official and they're 100 about the issue, you can tell. And man, if you haven't heard Jay Good with sports and you like sports, man, you are you're doing yourself a disservice. I'm telling you, because this man be on every scene, you know what I'm saying, going through everything I see somebody talking about on social media. Bro, I can't wait to hear you. I know you're gonna give me a take on it. And I want to wait till I hear you so I repeat it and know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, bro, where you got that from? I was like, oh yeah, my dog Jay Good, man. You gotta check out Jay Good. You ain't know about Jay Good. Yeah, look him up. Straight. You know what I'm saying? So when did you become, you know what I'm saying, knowing with all the things that you went through, getting up to that point, getting in school, finding out, that you shouldn't have been applying, like after you had already accepted an offer, picking your classes and your curriculum, you know what I'm saying? How was that experience, and how did that lead you into becoming, Jay Good with sports?
Well, I went to school. My major was undecided. That was one of the things that, even part of me to this day, not exactly knowing what to do. I have a better idea now, but, then it's like I have people in my ear telling me, oh, you can be a, pharmacist, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be this, and that. It's like, I don't think my heart's in it for that. And so, you know, just I guess figuring it out, going through that first year, that first semester in college, I just picked, you know, business. I felt like, well, you know, at least with business, I can be, you know, doing anything. I can be a part of anybody's business. So I just, you know, continue to figure it out from there. You know, as far as the sports, I always found myself gravitating towards the fitness center after class every time, and just, you know, seeing the athletes and just trying to figure that out. And, you know, slowly but surely it all gets, you know, put together. And you know, I guess working with the fitness center, with the sports, doing multiple different sports at the school and intramural programs, I think that helped me out a lot, because I played everything. And I mean everything, from volleyball to basketball to flag football, table tennis, floor hockey, bowling, pool. I did it all. I did it all. And I can tell you how frisbee golf, I can tell you. I can tell you how each one of them operates. And then being an official with that, you know, being the one to regulate games and keeping track of scores and everything under the sun, man. So I guess when I finally graduated, just having that knowledge, I guess eventually I started my sports blog and started going from there.
Now, because you are, you know what I'm saying, like I said, you are official, brother. You definitely know what you're talking about. Have you done any referee work? Are you interested in doing any referee work, or would you prefer to be, you know, at the you know, behind the microphones broadcasting the game?
You know, funny thing was, I was in the process of actually considering being like a basketball referee for, like, you know, middle school and maybe high school at some point in time. But you know, something happened in life and I can't think about it, but it kind of detoured me from that. But just knowing that I actually had like official referees giving me the handbook and like teaching me the actual motions and stuff with certain things, I was on my way. And it's still not like a far-fetched thought or anything. It just, you know, I guess depends how life flows. But for now, I mean, I think where I'm at this moment is helping me get to where I ultimately want to be.
Which is so what would that ultimate position be? Would you like to find yourself broadcasting not nationally, or would you like what ideally what would you like to do with, you know, the talent that you have? Because I do believe it's one thing to learn something, but it's another when you have a talent and a gift. You know what I'm saying? You enjoy it when you do it. So where would, you know, what are the heights that you want to take it, that you would like to take?
So, you know, initially back in high school, like I wanted, like my dream job was ESPN for so long and so bad. And I apply and apply and apply. Of course, nothing ever happened with that. And nowadays I'm kind of glad I'm not working for ESPN, just based on how certain things have happened over the years with certain personalities or whatnot. But I mean, you know, this line in I guess Jay-Z song Renegade with Eminem, I drove by the fork in the road and I went straight. Right. I feel like I just want to create my own path, and eventually I would love to like own my own ESPN one day, have my own like big network, just like ESPN, just a little different, a little bit more up to date, a little bit more modern. That's my end goal, honestly.
Bro, I think you're closer to that than you believe, bro. Anybody, listen, this man has a following. Listen, if you don't know about Jay Good, you might be the only one. You better tap in, but don't worry about it. Before I get him off here, we gonna find the fuck out. Promise you. Now I'm just guessing, but I'm gonna think. I believe you might be a Chicago Bears fan. I'm just guessing. You know, I don't know what's giving me them kind of vibes, but I'm just pulling it out of the universe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with the big old rug behind you, nothing like that, or the pillow to your left. You know, it ain't nothing like that. But as far as going into this next NFL season, man, you know, I gotta ask you, because you know you give it right. You know you give it how it is, regardless of bias. I know you're a fan.
Yep.
But who do you think might be the two teams to watch at the Super Bowl?
Whew. I mean, it's free agency was fun. The NFL draft was fun. Matter of fact, I think I remember you telling me you actually got to check out some of the draft.
I did. Yeah, man, round 1, 19, 20, 22. I know that everybody's like, man, ain't shit, but it's big for me, damn it. That's a milestone. I'm coming over the other side, damn it.
Man. Right now, I would say the Super Bowl favorite matchup at this point, you're probably still looking at the Los Angeles Rams, defending champs, back in the Super Bowl, because they definitely done enough, and just added more to what they already got. AFC is just loaded. I mean, we looking at about a good 13 teams that can fight for 7 spots to make the playoffs. That's how good, that's how loaded that conference is.
Dang.
But I would say by a hair right now, and it might change in a month, but right now I'll say the Buffalo Bills. So Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl right now.
Now, I know we were. See, like I said, I ain't always watch sports, but that don't mean that everybody in my house didn't. Like, so I'm gonna tell you something. My mom and my dad. My mom's from Florida, you know, so she's a Buccaneer fan, diehard Bucks. I'm talking about she don't even watch the Bucks because she diehard Bucks. You feel me? Like they give them a heart attack. She can't watch the shit. She ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? She back with Tony Dungy Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying? Like she yeah. So she diehard Buccaneer fan. She, you know what I'm saying? Now, however, my father is from Louisiana, who is a New Orleans Saints fan. So when they play, you know, you can't, you know,
that's a rivalry.
Yeah, rivalry. Shit, I be thinking they about to get divorced. I don't know what the hell going on. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, I wasn't watching, but yeah, who that talking about them? You know, who that? But you know, shout out to my see my dog Jonathan Brown. He gonna hate me because I gotta mention the Cowboys somewhere there because I said Saints. So you know what I'm saying. If I don't, he gonna call me right after the interview and cuss me out. So I said it, man. I said it. You know what I'm saying? It's the Cowboys. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about them, but they in there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all that to say, you know, I remember a certain period of time where it seemed like the Patriots was winning every fucking year. And it got to a point where I was like, yo, why do you even play if they gonna keep taking it every goddamn year? Like it's almost like they didn't see this happen. I think they won 2, skip won the next one. I was like, damn, I need a franchise team. Like they just gonna do it like that every year. Like, what do you do as a sports fan when that continues to happen? Like, is it frustrating? Is it exciting? Is it, you know, do you understand it as far as the dynasty, the way they built up? Did you see it coming? Or tell me about it, bro. Give me the experience, my man.
All right. So as a fan, with stuff like that, when you have a team that's in a dynasty, right? Either they winning back to back or they winning, you know, every other year for a certain number of years at a period of time. It's either you with them or you're against them at that point. Right. Either you're part of the fandom or you're not. If you're not, then of course, you know, there's levels to it. It's like, is it the coach? Is it for instance, New England? Is it the Patriot way? Is it Tom Brady? Is it the fact that they got Spygate going on, the Flakegate? Is it, you know, all these different antics? Yeah, it's like, is it, you know, like, are you like a fan of a rival team? Like, are you like a Dolphins fan, a Jets fan, a Bills fan at the time where all 3 of those teams was just trash and you just had to sit there and just take it with no Vaseline? Like, it's layers to it. I mean, if you're part of the fandom, it's like, you know, you sitting in good company. You sitting in a Ferrari, just chilling on a yacht somewhere. Right. So like for the Patriots, who like in a 20-year span have won 6 Super Bowls, and you know, at one point in the you know, in the 2010s where they would look like it was winning every other year. I mean, at the end of the day, all good things come to an end eventually. And, you know, one time Brady left, it, you know, came to an end.
So about that, because I do, okay. So I got 2 questions that I got to pose to you, right? So as a career athlete in a quarterback position, you don't think that he could tell the ball was lighter than it's supposed to be? I you know, that's just one of the things that always got me, you know what I'm saying? But then on the second part of that question is he a nonstop machine? The man did leave the Patriots and won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, Mom, I don't mean no kind of nothing on it. I promise. But I'm saying it's they the Buccaneers though. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to figure out, like, is he the answer, or is it a team at whole? Because the quarterback is supposed to be the captain. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So, the ship. So I'm
So
just, yeah.
so with that, the first part, you can definitely tell when the ball is lighter. Like when I played flag football in college, I was the quarterback of the team, so I can tell when the ball is a little heavier, a little lighter, a little rougher, a little whatever. I can
Right.
tell. So
Right.
he had to know if that's the case. I'm
See?
not buying that. So all right. So as far as I guess Tom Brady himself, I mean, is Tom Brady that great of a leader? I believe so. Tom Brady gets the best out of players. I've seen trash players on the Patriots look like Hall of Famers at one point in time, just based on Tom Brady's ability to get the best out of guys, setting them up for success. I've seen it. But also, is Tom Brady, one of the, I guess, selfless team players out there as well? Absolutely. You know why? Because he doesn't take max dollars. The quarterback position get paid, head and shoulders
Yeah.
above everybody else. Freaking Aaron Rodgers got a $45 million contract a year type deal for 4 years. And that's the reason why the
Be working
Green
on my
Bay
arm.
yeah,
Sorry.
telling you. Deshaun Watson got $236 million fully guaranteed contract. Tom Brady takes pay cuts. Tom Brady takes pay cuts because he knows that the team is as great as the sum of its parts. So you have to have room to pay everybody else. That's why, people probably with this Buccaneers team, like, that team is loaded. Tom Brady always got a stacked team. Tom Brady always takes pay cuts. That's the reason why. I mean, probably helps that his wife is a supermodel, but even still, you rarely see it in across sports where, especially if that's the type of sport where, your career could be over like that because of the violent nature of the sport. But at the same time, it's like, if you're going to be successful, you gotta save money for others to fill up those positions. That's why Mike Evans keeping him. He's the elite. Chris Godwin is elite. When Antonio Brown was there, I mean, he was elite. Gronk, I mean, he's past his prime, but he's still awesome on the other side of the ball. Jason Pierre-Paul, even with his 3 fingers on his one arm because he blew him off messing with fireworks a few years ago.
Oh, shit.
I mean, he's elite. Shaq Lawson, and Ndamukong Suh at the time. I mean, the list goes on and on. He took a pay cut so he can have all those elite players on around him, and that's why they dominated the Super Bowl they did against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I bet. I like the way you explain that. I see what time we on, so it doesn't matter. I'm coming up so closely. I promise. I got a couple more questions. I'll be able to let you go, brother. And obviously with the athlete, the nature of the game is competition. Because sports, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. I don't really see too many teams. I don't know of a game that everybody wins in sports. It's not sports. You know what I'm saying? It's called a community project. So, the nature of competitiveness is given. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But do you think there are times where it can be too detrimental to one's future, like such cases like Terrell Owens? The man was an absolute great wide receiver, but his attitude, man, didn't want to deal with that mouth, like, you know what I'm saying? And times when we would see certain times where the man could have been great, but then he would say some shit, and then it would be like, people kind of like, I gotta back the fuck off. Yeah, it ain't worth that. You know what I'm saying? When what do you think the skill is? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, if you look at some of these athletes like Michael Jordan, they're some of the biggest trash talkers in the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that just something that comes with that athleticism, that competition, or is it somewhat of like ego that you feel like should be tamed down to kind of like help them get a little further?
I mean, where you going? There is a fine line, right?
Right. That's why I gotta ask you to walk it. If somebody go tightrope it, man, I know you got it in there for me.
All right, so like somebody like Michael Jordan, who, a lot of people consider the GOAT, including myself in basketball, one of the greatest athletes ever, one of the most transcending athletes this planet has ever seen. He grew up in an era where there was no social media, so you just knew about the legend himself. You just, anytime you was in his presence, you probably would feel some type of way, like, just one of those starstruck, type people. But as we, learn, a lot of people learned about The Last Dance of, how big of an a-hole he really was, how big of a competitor he really was. It's like you would hear stories, but to actually see it on an interview like that with him talking about it, and other guys, enlightening us on that. I mean, it just gives us, I guess, a different perspective of, what can be tolerated and what's not. T.O., I feel like, luckily for him, he wasn't growing up in the social media era either.
Right.
Because it's crazy, because T.O. to me is a top 5 wide receiver of all time, period. He is top 5. He was a dog on the field. Like, I get all the antics he had that came up with him getting with his teammates left and right. I feel like stuff like that, there's 3 sides to every story. Right. It's just, what sucks about it is you have these media people who vote for these particular players to get in the Hall of Fame, and they're letting that bias against how he act go against what he actually done on the field. And it took him 3 years to get into the Hall instead of him being a first ballot Hall of Famer like he should. That's the messed up part about it. Like, I understand you don't care about how you went about doing certain things. That's fine. You may not like him as a person, but you need to respect him as the athlete and the production that he produced on the field. So for him not being a first ballot Hall of Famer is total BS. That's the part. That's where you cross the line. So yeah, you might not want to, give him endorsements. Fine. You might not want to sit down and, have a meal with him. Fine. But to sit here and deny him of something that he actually earned, that's not cool.
Man, I got one last question, and then I'm gonna let you get the socials out, man. I'm gonna let you continue your day, brother. I know you be busy. All right. So my last question is this. Colin Kaepernick recently, what I'm saying, is going to be playing again. Considering, everybody is familiar. I don't watch sports, and I know Colin Kaepernick's, what he's been going through over the last couple of years, and based on why he went through it. Mm-hmm. When somebody who is a social iconic figure takes a stance on a certain issue, and is willing to just take the punches, as they come based on his views, and unwilling to bend on it. You know what I'm saying? Right. This man was basically blacklisted. Nobody wanted to play with him. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that should serve as a deterrent from these athletes being able to say something public? It's kind of like with the whole basketball movement when it was like shut up and dribble. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that these people, because they are public athletes and they are, technically they're athletes and not an entertainer, even though you are entertained when you watch them, right? You know what I'm saying? Do you think that should rob them of their voice and their and them using, what they do that everybody knows them for, to spread a social awareness message like he did?
Whew. Man, we walking some fine lines on this one, right?
And no offense. Hey, we're gonna ask you the questions now. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
All right, Colin.
I ain't trying to kill you or your career. That I'm just, you know what I'm saying? say what's good for you, but I gotta ask. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. I think I actually had a little practice on this one. Okay. All right, so with Colin, he's in a unique situation. Like the social part, I'm 120% on what he did and the reason for it. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, feel that way. And of course, on the other side, there's a lot of people that don't feel that way, that, the perception wise, it's just not a good look. He's disrespecting the flag, this and that. And we know darn well it had nothing to do with the flag, but, people going to believe what they believe. Right. He used his, his status as an athlete / celebrity as a platform to try to bring change. I mean, I feel like a lot of other athletes have done the same in the course of the history of this country, especially in the last maybe 50 years or so, starting all the way back with Ali. But I guess the two things that probably hurt Colin, and the reason why he's being blackballed as long as he has and may continue to still be blackballed, even though this is probably his best chance to land on NFL roster at this moment. One, I guess if he was the status of a Tom Brady or a LeBron James, the backlash and the punishment, quote unquote, wouldn't be as severe.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, he did lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl and actually was a play away from probably actually winning the Super Bowl from what I remember against the Ravens, that Super Bowl. That was the same Super Bowl where the lights went out after Beyonce did her thing. But so that's one. He's not, an all-pro quarterback, a big, elite athlete. He isn't. The second thing is what I think people forget, and he kind of like lost a little bit of his leverage in a sense to actually continue his career, was when he actually him and the NFL reached a settlement agreement with the lawsuit.
Yeah.
That part right there is like, okay, well, you officially gave in. We don't have to employ you at all. We don't even have to try to employ you. We don't have to like do anything in particular anymore. You agreed to this, so all of this is out the window. Right. That's the part right there. So I get and I agree with, what he did as far as bringing, certain things to light. It probably took them 4 years to actually, see it all come full circle, into all the way from all the stuff happening back then, all the way to George Floyd. That probably was the full circle point right there, where people started to realize like Colin was right. But at this point, like once you like agree to a settlement, they don't have to do anything. So that's the sad part about it.
Man, hey, Jamar Goodman, man, I appreciate you, brother. From myself, Matt Arrington, Mr. No Offense, I want to personally congratulate you and on your successes, and thank you for being a part of our network, for being a sportscaster on our radio. Like I said, this man, my whole life, I wasn't one to follow sports, but I actually give a fuck just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's growing because I'm listening to his show, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to get the props where they belong. You know what I'm saying? I told him when he came on, I say, bro, listen, you pretty much got rain because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I found myself actually listening, or that I noticed that you're on. I find myself actually putting you on the radio, you know what I'm saying, when I know that your show is on, and actually listening to what it is that you're saying, because I do believe it has merit. I could tell that you know what you're talking about. I could tell you love what you do, and that in itself is inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Do me a favor if you can. Go ahead and give out your tags where people can find you. I'm going to make sure it comes up on the screen when we air this, so that we can, make sure more people are drawn to you and able to follow you and watch your success, brother.
All right. First and foremost, Matt, I just like to thank you for allowing me to be a part of this network, giving me the opportunity as I try to ultimately figure out what I really want to do with this. So I salute you for allowing me to be a part of this movement. That's something special here. So as far as where you can find me, at Jay Good with Sports, we're talking Twitter, we're talking Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, definitely doing that. 3 podcasts, Jay Good with Sports podcast. Also the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast every Saturday morning. That's live on Facebook. You find us on YouTube on that. And then the Destination Fantasy podcast. Like, last thing you probably may not know yet, I am a fantasy football addict. Like, that's where I make my bread and butter at, sir. So fantasy football is coming real soon. And I'm trying to plan a workshop here or something for people that, that's new to fantasy football or want a little edge. That I kid you not. That's why I make my bread and butter. So Destination Fantasy Podcast, that will be live on Sunday mornings, probably starting towards the end of July.
I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that, because listen, I got to know what league you playing in, so I know not to even step in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? For real. Jamar Goodman, I appreciate you, brother. This has been a hell of a talk, man. I can't wait to let the people hear it. Y'all make sure y'all check out the June issue of 2002 of the magazine, because my man will be featured in it. You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, y'all be on the lookout, man. I will catch y'all listening. We'll listen together, and then we can make our decisions. Y'all take care, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.